I'm Haley from Gallifrey Public Radio, a Doctor Who fandom podcast and part of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're checking out now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting geeky shows at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode, 377 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. This is recorded live on Sunday, October 20th, 2019. There's probably something significant. Oh, there is something significant about this date. It's Bachman's 9-year anniversary on Twitter, we found out in the pre-show. So congratulations, Anthony, for 9 years on Twitter. Do you feel like you have benefited from all of the Twitterings?
I feel like a huge twit.
That's fair.
And you look like one too.
And it's also of significance that it is the one and only Willie D. Nelson's birthday tomorrow, I found out in the pre-show. So,
woo.
Happy birthday, Willie. Do you have grand birthday plans for tomorrow?
That is if I can walk.
If you can walk, what are your birthday plans for tomorrow?
Unsure.
So those are grand birthday plans right there. Unsure. I like it. We could get you a nice... No, I can't. I would say we'd get you a steak for your birthday. It's probably a bad idea if your foot's hurting.
Well, just anytime. That's what flares. I guess when it's already flared up, it doesn't matter. But
that means you eat all the steak you want right now, because what's it going to do?
Make it worse?
Maybe.
Just amputate it off.
Just amputate it off. For those who are unaware, we're talking about Willie's foot. Just to
we're going to get you some octane legs.
It hits everywhere. I have gout, and it hit every joint. It has hit my arm, my elbows, my wrists, my knuckles, my foot, my knees, even the knuckles of my big toes, which that's the best place to get it in because that's the least amount of pain because I can still walk. I just have to walk it different ways. But it's like, you're trying to stop me, but you can't.
Yeah, that sounds uncomfortable, Willie. Sorry
you can't kill me, motherfuckers!
But yeah, the pain has been very bad. It feels like a broken whatever it's affecting. It just feels like it's broken when it gets bad. And right now I just can't put weight on my foot without feeling shooting pain and probably just crumpling underneath it. So yay. But I've thought many times, like, why won't I just cut it off and get rid of it?
I mean, we could get you one. I've seen the folks at work when they come in, like if someone breaks their leg, they get them one of those scooters that like they can kind of kick the leg up and like set their knee in it and then just kind of kick around. What if we got you one of those scooters? Would that help, or would your foot still be flopping around and that would hurt?
Oh, no, that would help out a lot. My buddy had one when he tore or broke something, but he gave it away to someone else who had a skydiving accident where a chute didn't open up until it was like way too late.
Ouch.
Yeah, and so he gave that scooter to him, and now I'm like, you shouldn't have gave it to him. You should have gave it to me.
But I wanted the scooter.
I didn't need it at the time, but I needs it now.
Willie could just be scooting around on his birthday tomorrow then.
Call me Scoots Nelson.
Scooter, can we call you Scooter D. Nelson?
Sure.
All right, so this is now the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast featuring myself. I'm Chris, one Anthony Bachman, and finally
Hello.
Scooter D. Nelson right here.
Scoot, scoot, scoot.
I like it better that he's Scooter instead of Willie. I like Scooter.
I'll forget to call him Scooter, but please feel free if you want to. In chat room, you're also welcome to call him Scooter, I guess.
It's whatever.
So,
hey.
Yes.
I do have one update.
Oh, what's your update, Willie?
A little real quick matter of the fact for each week we do this. The cunt of the week this week is, again, Gwyneth Paltrow. Who would have thought about it? She deserves all of it.
I am shocked that that's who you would pick for this week's.
For multiple reasons.
What is your... Are they the same reasons as last week, or do you have new reasons this week?
Mostly goop.
That's fair. That's fair, I suppose.
It's a pretty good reason.
I thought
have you ever seen the...
I thought you had a new crush this week that we were going to talk about. I hope that's not Gwyneth Paltrow.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, she's good looking, but I mean, no. I mean, have you ever seen that video where they're asking her about the products on Goop, and she's like, "I don't know."
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're only the owner of the company. How do you not know?
Willie, have you consciously uncoupled from Gwyneth Paltrow?
Oh, what?
Have you consciously uncoupled from Gwyneth Paltrow?
I don't know what that means.
That is the dumbass term that her and her ex-husband came up with when they got, instead of getting divorced, they consciously uncoupled.
She likes to just make things more difficult, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
That's why she will continue to be the cunt of the week until there's a bigger cunt. I do not foresee that happening.
I don't know,
Yeah,
man. We're getting
that
close to election season. That's as much as I'm going to get into in politics, though.
Yeah, there's some cunts there.
That's about as political as we're going to get on this podcast, is to make a throwaway joke to politicians sucking. That's about
And
all.
I did not even start that.
Me neither. It was all Chris that time.
I didn't even add to it.
Well, that's
I did add
good.
to it, but
I'm very confused here. And you guys know what happens when I get confused. I just end up hitting
hit the
buttons.
button.
Already.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet. It's the news of the week.
Welcome, everyone, to the News of the Week. It's that part of the show where we run down what is in our minds some of the most interesting, geeky, and or nerdy news to have popped up here in the past couple of weeks. We've got some news, some interesting stuff. Some of it we'll power through because we do have a segment today. It's something you guys all love. It's one of your favorites. But let's do the news first. And Willie, do you want to start things off for us?
Sure can do. So I was super excited about something coming out, and it finally did Thursday.
Is that Gwyneth Paltrow's
It was the
new movie?
Is she in a new movie that came out?
Fuck if I know. I just was trying to make a joke.
I hope I ruined it. No. The Jackbox Party Pack 6. And I can say that all the games in this one are fun. They had some drop off in 5, or some of them were just... that one got the least amount of play. He was like, let's just go back to these other games and these other Jackboxes. But the list of games they have are great. Starting off at the very top, they brought back a fan favorite, Trivia Murder Party 2, and they did do some updates that make it a lot more fun.
That's awesome.
I had 7 friends over, and we all played through a bunch of them, or all of them, because there's only 5 games for each box. But yeah, Trivia Murder Party 2, great time. I got to win once. My body was stolen, and it was terrible. For that game, they did add a little caveat to it, like to the end. Like instead of just, if you have your body, you can just walk out. No. At the very end, it gives you all 3 options instead of just the 2. And then you have to get all of them right to escape. If you don't get all of them right, you don't escape. So I guess it kind of helps people to catch back up. One time, none of us could get all 3 of them right, and so the darkness that keeps coming, filling up the screen, finally took us. And so no one won. So that was fun. And then
the darkness got you.
The darkness got me. Another game is called Role Models, where pretty much it's better to play when you have people that you know, because it's all about it gives you a subject and it gives you a bunch of different things in the subject. And I'll say, hey, which one of your friends is, and you have to match up your friends who are playing, what role would they fit in under during this subject? It's a bunch of different subjects, so it's kind of hard to... during a heist, who's the muscle, who's the getaway driver, so forth and so on. And that gets pretty fun. And then people think I would be very grumpy, apparently, because on Sesame Street, I am the Grouch.
Oscar the Grouch.
Everyone voted for me for that one, including me.
You voted for yourself.
Including me.
I got
that
the
was
points.
more
I'm
Eeyore
happy.
than Oscar the Grouch there, though.
I'd probably Eeyore on there too. But either way,
Oh bother.
the next one is Joke Boat, where pretty much kind of like Shirt KO, where it asks you just a bunch of different things at the very beginning. And you just like it'll give you like a noun, a plural noun, and stuff like that. And then you just type in a bunch of stuff, and it gives you like a pre-made out joke with a blank in it, and then you have to choose the blank from what people have put in, and then you have to write the last line of the joke. So you have to start up a random word,
So it's
and
like
then
Mad
you
Libs
finish
almost?
it out. Kinda, except for the whole last line is just you writing in. So it's all new. So yeah, and that could be. We had some fun moments, and another one we had an extremely fun time with is Dictionarium, where pretty much
Interesting.
it gives you a definition of a word, or just a definition of like something that doesn't have a word. It's just something funny. I forget what our first example was. I remember what it turned into. It tells you give a word, and then you have to give a alternate definition to. No. Oh man, I'm messing this up. It gives you a word. You have to come up with a definition for the word, and then like everyone puts in their definition, and everyone votes for which one they like better. And then you have to come up with a synonym of the original word, and then everyone chooses which they like better, and then you come up with using it in a sentence, and it's a whole list of things. I believe the one, I forget what the original word was, but it was my definition one of the feeling of when a wedgie becomes at critical mass, and then the synonym word for it, which I also wrote, was called Slotmaxing.
Okay, that kind of works.
Slotmaxing.
I forget the sentence that won for it. But that did come out. This Slotmaxing did come in later on in other games too, because that was just a good one. And then the last game, Push the Button. This one is interesting because you need more people, because you have to have 4 to 10 people for this one. You can't just you have the normal 2 or 3 to even just play it. I mean, all these games are, of course, more fun with more people. But Push the Button, and this one is you have to be in the same room with people to for the full effect. Pretty much everyone's like locked in a spaceship, and then I guess depending on how many people are playing, certain number of those people are aliens, and they're hidden in disguise as people. And then you have to play little games, and people have to figure out who the aliens are. And you don't push the button unless you're 100% sure you know who the aliens are.
Interesting.
Because if you push the button, because you have a time limit that's going down by playing all these games to try and figure out who's an alien or not. If anyone pushes the button before that timer at any time, you instantly go to put people in, and people vote where they said, yeah, sure, let's do that, or no, let's not shoot them out. Then we go back to playing the games. And of course, aliens won because everyone thought I was an alien for some reason. And I was not an alien. No one believed me.
They just assume you're an alien.
Nah. But I give this game a straight up 9 out of 10.
How does it compare to the other Jackbox games in your mind? Is this one of the top ones?
A monumental leap up from Jackbox 5.
Okay.
I can tell you that.
I never had
because there were some
Jackbox 5
stinkers.
myself.
There were some stinkers in Jackbox 5. Sorry, Jackbox people, but there were some failings in there. That Zeeple, I didn't understand it at first. I think I finally understand it. It was fun. I wish I understood it earlier, but none of my friends wanted to play it, so we couldn't do it. And then there's some other things. There's just some games that your friends just don't want to play, and they're like, all right, whatever. So I never got to play You Don't Know Jack in that one, which was a really fun. I love You Don't Know Jack. That's always great. But then I also wanted to review something else. A little quick review.
What do you got here, Willie?
Spoiler free, since it just came out less than a week ago. Letterkenny Season 7 started. And I'm going to say, starts off really strong. You will hear about McMurray being really happy about a certain member of his. And it ends in a big old cliffhanger, which I'm assuming that they're going to have it might not even talk about that cliffhanger, but I'm assuming they're going to have like another special episode like they usually have, because they've been having like 7 episodes a season, but the last episode's like a special episode for a holiday. It's been a random holiday before. So I'm assuming they're going to be coming out with another episode that they still have hidden out. I don't know. I don't know how it works. We'll find out. But Letterkenny season 7, I'm giving a solid, let's go 6.5 out of there.
That is solid. And Willie's
10
grading
being-
scale. Remember Willie's grading scale we talked about earlier. A average grade is a 5, so this is above average.
Yeah, those people looking at video game scores, I don't understand it. If it's not a 7 or better, it's a terrible game. But 5 is right in the middle. That's like an average. That's like still okay. It's not bad, but I got in a big argument with friends, and I don't understand their thinking.
They're probably equating it to like the grading scale we had in school, where a 5 out of 10, 50% is a failure. You don't really pass until you get to 60 or higher, and even then D is technically not passing in some people's minds.
Now, remember, they're taking their inspiration from the American education system.
Hey man, D equals diploma. That's all I know.
You ain't wrong.
It may pay to get A's, but C's get degrees, my friend. C's get degrees. You're muted, Bachman.
I was sniffing. I forgot. You call a medical student with a C average?
Doctor.
Doctor. That's right. They don't have to get A's to fucking become a doctor.
I'm all right with. The doctors I've been to for this gout, that seems about right.
As long as they graduate, you still got to call them doctor.
That's why I don't like doctors.
So, Willie, have you finished all of Letterkenny for this season?
Oh yeah, I finished that up like on Tuesday after it came out on Monday.
You kind of got a little Letterkenny flavor to your voice there as you were saying that.
What happens? Figure it out.
Well, Willie's
What'd
ready
I
for his
say?
visit to Canada to go visit one Mr. President Stephen Johnson. It sounds like he's got his Canadian accent and Canadian twang going from watching Letterkenny.
Oh,
that man
and
a puppers.
apparently, and I will say this: I just saw this on the Reddits and the Facebooks. Letterkenny is doing a live tour, so I think they're coming around in February near me. I think I saw. I have to go back and look at that.
I take it you're going then.
That's a text 10-4.
I thought so. I just wanted to clarify for everyone that was watching or listening that was your plan.
Why are you
Did you just
shushing,
shush me?
Chris? I think he did. I think he just shushed
Oh,
you.
sorry. Thursday, March 19th.
Wait, is it a Letterkenny
Shush,
tour?
it's my turn.
Yeah, live tour. It's going to be in Durham near me. I saw... Nope, that's the wrong thing. I pressed. It's going to be... I saved the picture. Or did I not save the picture?
Riveting podcast.
Yeah,
I did. I'm trying to see where the dates around you guys are. Oh, wow, the small writing.
It's not coming to
Well, it's
Idaho.
not coming to Morgantown. It might come to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, there's no West Virginia or... What's your state's abbreviation?
Mine is W.
Bachman.
ID. Idaho.
No, it's not. It's not going there at all.
No, of course not.
But it's coming to North Carolina.
Well, Willie, it is
God,
coming.
that's a
It's
lot of
coming to
Canadian.
Pittsburgh, which is 90 minutes away from my house.
We're not even getting the Jay and Silent Bob reboot tour through here.
I am.
Yes, I can get pre-sale seats available on Monday, October 21st, and general tickets Friday, October 25th if I want to go to the Letterkenny Live on Tour event when it comes to Pittsburgh.
You should do
Nice.
I might do it. I don't know. I'd have to see who.
You get to watch the rest of the season or the rest of the episodes that you haven't watched.
God,
Wait, you
don't
still
tell
in
me what to
season
do.
1?
You're not my real dad.
Are you still in season 1?
Don't tell me what. No, I'm in season 2. You're not my real dad now.
Oh, that's right. Did you watch my favorite episode yet? 'Cause you were an
I don't know
episode
what
before
your
it.
favorite episode is, Dad.
The 3rd episode.
I think I watched. I don't know.
That pays attentions to certain areas.
Willie's here, busting my balls because I ain't watched.
Throwing
the
a baseball.
You think I'm gonna get to that? I ain't even watched Fifth Element yet. Like SP's been trying to get me to do for 5 years.
I gave up on that. I already knew you're never gonna watch that.
I'll do it one
You're
day.
I doubt that.
I'm like a teenager. The more you tell me to do something, the more I'm like, F you, I'll do it whenever I feel like it.
First of all, you brought it up this time, not me. I'm saying I just don't think you're going to do it, so I'm done with it.
I was using it as a comparison to Letterkenny.
And I'm just saying I didn't bring it up because you said the more you bring it up, I didn't bring it up. You brought it up.
Wah, 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 wah. I feel like I'm in a Charlie Brown show right now.
It sounds like you're trying to talk to me with a big old dick in your mouth.
Well, it obviously wouldn't be yours then, would it?
Oh, damn!
No, because mine's afraid of the scruff.
Coming out swinging.
It needs a gentler touch.
You've tried it with the scruff before, you're saying.
Apparently, he doesn't like it. Someone treated Willie badly.
You don't know the woman I had.
Oh, now I'm sad for you. So let's move on to the next news story here. This one I'll do pretty quickly, but it was announced yesterday that if you're a fan of the footballs, tomorrow, halftime, Monday Night Football, you can catch the final trailer for Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. That's interesting. That's cool. I'm still at a point myself where I don't care about any of the characters in this trilogy, I've realized. It's all just kind of like, okay, they're here. I'll eventually see some more stuff with them. Maybe. But if you're looking forward to going to the midnight release, the important thing is after the trailer drops tomorrow, you can start booking your tickets over on Fandango.com and other online resale sites to then go watch Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker yourself. Now, like I mentioned, I'll see it. I'll probably go see it opening weekend. I doubt I'm doing an opening night release at this point in time, but I guess it's exciting. It's all wrapping up. I will fully admit that I'm slightly jaded when it comes to Star Wars right now. I want to see how it ends. I hope it ends well. I don't know. And I'm not a big J.J. Abrams fan either, so that really doesn't help me much. And the rumors I've been hearing, much like Sailor Paul in the chat room has been talking about, stating there are rumors they are still shooting new scenes and after test screenings for 6 different endings, no less. It doesn't sound like they know how they want to finish this. And you could spin that one of multiple ways, one of which is that J.J. Abrams set them on a path for Episode 7 that then Ryan Johnson kind of ignored and did his own thing for 8, and now they have to course correct back. I don't know what's going on. I'm curious to see what happens. I'm curious how Palpatine's back, but I've said this before on this show. There's no characters that they've made me go out and be like, oh my god, I can't wait to see what happens to them. I really like that character. Like, you go back to the prequels, and I liked Obi-Wan Kenobi. You go to the original trilogy. Everyone liked Luke and Han and stuff like that. But I guess the problem I'm grappling with is there's not really a character that I'm like, I really like this guy in Episodes 7, 8, and 9. I want to see what happens to them. I'm kind of like, yeah, you've introduced me to these folks. They're cool, I guess. And am I just a jaded adult that I don't care?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's fair. It's entirely possible. I've talked about my own issues with Star Wars and its current fandom ruining things for me lately, so I didn't know if that's what was bleeding through or not.
I love Rey. I think Poe is an awesome pilot character. And why can I not think of
Finn?
Finn, yeah. I want to say Finn Jones. I'm like, no, that's the actor that played Iron Fist. Why is my brain trying to put that name in there? Because it's just Finn. Yeah, I like Finn. I think Finn's a great character. I want to see what happens to all 3 of them. And honestly, if they're shooting 5 endings, I'm betting it's probably because they're trying to make sure the damn ending doesn't leak.
That very well could be too.
The 9th of the Star Wars films. They got to make sure that they can get it into theaters without people knowing how it ends.
I mean, but the thing is, for me, I'm excited about The Mandalorian, for instance. I was excited about Star Wars Rebels. I'm excited to go rewatch Clone Wars. It's just there's something about this trilogy that I'm not excited like I was when Episode 7 came out. Maybe it's just lost a little bit of the sparkle. I don't know. And I'm not trying to shit on it. Please, no one construe that as Chris is shitting on Star Wars. It's more like Chris is struggling with his Star Wars fandom.
But that's also the best thing about there being so much Star Wars now is that you can be excited about Mandalorian and you don't necessarily have to be excited about Episode 9. I am a huge J.J. Abrams fan. I'm fucking super excited for Episode 9. I can't wait for December. But I'm also fucking stoked for my Disney Plus to start so I can watch me some Mandalorian because that also looks amazing.
Chris hates Star Wars. Got it. Is The Mandalorian going to be opening with Disney Plus?
It is. The very first episode is online the day Disney Plus starts, and then they drop a new episode a week.
Okay. Let me know when anything I care about comes on that Disney Plus, because otherwise I just don't care.
You didn't see like the whole list of stuff they released online that was like the biggest tweet storm I've seen?
Yeah,
It
but is
was-
it anything other than The Mandalorian going to be original?
Jeff Goldblum's show.
What's his show?
I can't remember the name of it.
It's like Jeff Goldblum explores the world or something.
So it's like a documentary.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it's the world according to Jeff Goldblum.
That's it.
So it's literally Jeff Goldblum being his kooky self and like going around the world and visiting places.
That's not good. That's not good enough for me. No.
So here's the actual description based off when they released it. It's the world according to Jeff Goldblum. It comes from the National Geographic Channel. Per Disney,
Ew.
Jeff pulls back the curtain on a seemingly familiar object to reveal a world of astonishing connections, fascinating science, and a whole lot of big ideas. Also,
Yeah, that's not enough.
I mean, that's fine.
I need more than that.
That's fine. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff coming later down the line. For me, Mandalorian was enough to be like, okay, I'm on board to begin with. And then Jeff Goldblum's show, I think Jeff Goldblum is hilarious. So kind of on board with that.
And I'm trying to see if I can find the list of what's all going to be on there day one when it actually launches on November 12th. Because, yeah, I already prepaid for my Disney Plus, so I will be watching it the day it starts. I'm actually interested to rewatch the old Robin Hood. That's my favorite old school Disney movie, and I don't own a physical copy of it.
Yeah, that's the other thing that's good is if you've got kids and stuff, the whole vault's basically open and all the Disney back catalog stuff.
Yep.
For lack of a
Is
better
it-
term, is in there. Yeah.
Is everything they've done in there?
Well, not Song of the South.
Yeah,
That stuff.
they're probably going to take out their super racist
Yeah,
stuff.
the super racist stuff probably got removed.
But you know what? Every once in a while, I want to go back and watch, you know, Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. Like sometimes those classic movies just kick ass.
My, what a wonderful
You gotta
day.
stop. Fair use.
Oh, fair.
Yeah,
Yeah, fair
that's
use.
a
Let's
fun
talk
movie.
about that. Let's talk about how Disney is stopping fair use, or what is it? The public domain. Screw them.
Yeah, well, that's because their lawyers are better than your lawyers or anybody else's lawyers.
You mean the government can just do it anyway? The
No.
government wants to do it. They can just say, "Yeah, you can't do this."
Well,
Well, that's all there is
copyright
to it.
laws are a whole different beast,
Yeah.
my friend.
Yeah.
Oh, The Sandlot will be on there day one as one of the 90s films.
Okay.
Shipwreck, The Rocketeer, Sister Act, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, The Muppet Christmas Carol. Like, there's a bunch of the 90s made Disney movies that'll be
What
on there.
is shipwreck?
It's just another one of those 90s Disney movies.
I
There's a
never
bunch
heard
of
of that.
There's a bunch. Like, seriously,
Yeah.
Disney went and did this whole run on Twitter of going back to whatever the first date was in the timeline of all this stuff they're releasing, and then just tweeting a picture of the movie and the
Yeah.
title of it. And there's a huge timeline. And I guess they then made a 3-hour-long trailer, I mean, air quote, trailer, that they dropped that was every show movie they talked about, like a clip for anywhere like 10 to 15 seconds long with the title over it to basically show off, here's all the stuff coming to it. Now,
Yeah, it literally goes. It starts with the Disney live action movies going back to the 1940s with the Swiss Family Robinson and Miracle on 34th Street. Like, it's going to be that stuff, and basically everything after it is going to be on there. Like, that's so many movies.
there's also, according to Sailor Poland, a Twitter feed listing what Disney stuff will not be on Disney Plus. That's the
That's
one
probably
that
good.
Willie's going to go to. Like, this is why I'm not buying it, because I can't get this, and this. I see how it is, Willie. I see.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
I know. I
That's
tend
a
not to.
shocker.
Most people don't listen to me. It's okay. I'm used to it. Oh,
And thank God you
bother.
host a podcast. Since
Our
people don't
downloads
listen
are
to you.
down, so.
Oh,
Oh, is it my turn to speak?
apparently because our downloads are down.
All right. Let's go back to the Willie D. Nelson show with one Scooter Nelson.
Scooting.
Ooh, Gargoyles is going to be on there.
Gargoyles is amazing.
All right,
Tailspin,
I'll give you that one, but it's still
Darkwing
not.
Duck. I was saying it's a lot of different stuff.
Don't forget
Yeah.
Chip and Dale. Rescue
Kim Possible.
Rangers.
I've been actually sit down and watch all the Kim Possibles. I never actually watched that whole series.
You
The
know what?
Lilo and Stitch series.
Not gonna touch it.
That'd probably be a good one.
90s X-Men, 90s Spider-Man.
Yeah, those would be good.
Just saying, Willie. there's some stuff there. There's some stuff there. I will say I'm more excited for Disney Plus than I am for Star Wars Episode 9, just to tie us back to the original topic here. That's right. Subtext to
Fair
this is
enough.
Chris hates Star Wars, of course. So please feel free to come at me on Twitter and be like, you're just a hater. No, I'm not. I just grappling with my love of Star
He's
Wars.
just a
Well,
fanboy.
And for the Star Wars stuff that he does like, on the Verge article that lists the Disney Plus stuff, they have all the Star Wars that's going to be available day one on Disney Plus, including episode 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, Empire of Dreams, the story of the Star Wars trilogy, the 2008 Clone Wars series, Star Wars Rebels from 2014, Lego Star Wars Yoda, the New Yoda Chronicles, Droid Tales, Force Awakens, Lego Star Wars Freemaker Adventures, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, Star Wars Resistance from 2018, Lego Star Wars Star Wars, and The Mandalorian. Like, that's a lot of Star Wars day one on Disney Plus.
Yeah, if you have the chance, go watch Rebels. It's really good, everyone. It's really good. They said
I love
some
Rebels.
interesting stuff.
I have
No,
all the
I
pops
don't
of the
think I
Rebels
will.
because they're awesome.
Thank you, old man Cap Willie.
You're welcome.
Are you glad I caught
Oh.
that reference?
No, he's Cap Scooter.
My,
He's
my
Captain
reflexes are too quick for something to go over my head, Willie.
I would catch them.
Captain Scooter.
Captain Scooter's
Captain
here.
Scooter.
Scoot. I throw my scooter at you, but then I can't move.
That's the real question Sailor Poland's asking that I don't have the answer to. He said, what versions of the original trilogy? The original cuts or the remixes? I'm
That's-
assuming
yeah.
the special
Remixes.
editions.
I'm assuming,
Yeah.
it's got to be the
Yeah.
sadly remixed ones.
Because they're probably going to
Lucas
present them in
burned
4K.
those.
So they probably had to continue with that. Who knows? We'll find out. I'm sure someone will go and in-depth analyze this. And if you live in the Netherlands right now, that's where they're doing the trial for Disney Plus. You could find out for us what version of Star Wars is on there. So if we have any listeners in the Netherlands, just let us know. That wraps up my news story. I'm going to toss things over to one Mr. Anthony Bachman.
We were lucky enough to get a news article this week that was basically, for what most people would be, a foregone conclusion. But Kevin Feige finally got himself a nice little promotion, and he is now known as the Chief Creative Officer at Marvel. So basically, if it's Marvel TV and movies, he's in charge. And so he now only answers to, what was it? There was two names listed here.
Alan Horn.
Yeah, the Chief Creative Officer, Alan Horn of Walt Disney co-chairman, and the other co-chairman, Alan Bergman. So basically, Kevin Feige now only has two bosses. And they're the guys who co-run Disney. And so basically, yeah, Ike Perlmutter's out and no longer fucking up Marvel decisions, but he will remain as the chairman of Marvel Entertainment. But Feige is actually making the decisions, which pretty much guarantees us that all the Disney Plus shows, all the Marvel movies going forward, all the Marvel Cinematic Universe interconnectivity stuff will be even possibly more interconnected. And those shows will definitely be, it'll be better than the Shield thing, where the movies affected Shield, but what Shield did ended up seeming to not really be affected or responded to in the movies. And so I have a feeling that we're going to get, with the Scarlet Witch and Vision show, the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, the Loki show, like stuff that's happening on those shows will be like, you'll see changes that happen to the universe because of those shows reflected in the movies.
That was already the case because he already had creative control over the Disney Plus shows. It was the television studio side of the house that was the stuff that they were not making. So, like, not making in-house for Disney Plus, let me rephrase. Like, if they did another Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season, for instance, or the Daredevils of the world, things like that, those are now under Feige's control. Like, he didn't exactly control what happened with Daredevil, Punisher, and all of those kind of things. They were loosely tied in, but now he has the keys to the entire kingdom is the basic read I had here. And he also has the keys to a Star Wars movie of some kind too. So he's going to be a very busy guy. Oh, and a Spider-Man movie.
And a Spider-Man movie, which and he fought for because apparently he's a huge fan of Tom Holland and he thinks that kid is awesome. So
that was Bob Iger. I think we can blame for that because remember we talked about a couple weeks ago. It was Tom Holland that called Bob Iger to try and make it happen.
But yeah, it's one of those things where most of us, hoped and thought it would be a foregone conclusion. But basically, Kevin Feige's been given a bit more power and more control, and he's been one of the greatest world builders in cinema. He helped put together a 22 movie series. Like, that's insane. That beats the James Bond films. I mean, from Iron Man 1 to Avengers Endgame, it's basically one story. And that's unprecedented in film history. And now he gets to do more. I'm super stoked for it because, yeah, Feige's taken, he's helped some directors take chances on stuff, and he's hired some people that a lot of people probably would have thought were bad ideas or bad bets. And, in the long run, other than what? Inhumans and maybe a bad casting choice. Well, Iron Fist wasn't his fault. So, yeah, a bad casting choice in Iron Fist. But, like, Inhumans was really, like, their only big failure.
Guardians Humans was not his fault either.
Oh, no, but I'm saying
that to even happen.
Of the Marvel stuff, like, they really have taken a lot of risks. Like, nobody in the world knew who the Guardians characters were that James Gunn chose. Like, that was a risk. And even giving James Gunn a giant budget to do a Marvel film was a risk. Like, they've taken some big shots and, done really well percentage-wise for the wins and losses when you look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And a whole lot of that has to do with the fact that Kevin Feige just really seems to love and care about all these characters and want to see directors in charge of them that also care about the characters.
Well, they got to a point where they could afford to take risks because once you've had enough success let's be honest, the early couple phases, it's kind of formulaic. You can make an argument there that there's not a bunch of things that shake things up. You get to Winter Soldier, and then you kind of have, here's where we can start playing differently. Yeah, it's a superhero movie, but it's also a spy drama. Yeah, we're going to go do our space fantasy with Guardians of the Galaxy. Stuff like that. They've gotten to play around, do different things, bring in directors that you really wouldn't have expected to be involved in this, like James Gunn you had mentioned. If you had told me Taika Waititi was going to do a Marvel movie, it would be one of my favorite ones they've done. They would completely redefine what Thor is. I would have been like, who? Yeah. Up until a certain point, because I will admit, I didn't know who Taika Waititi was until there was this buzz around him that, he's going to be doing a Thor movie. And then I started reading some of the stuff he'd done and went and watched like What We Do in the Shadows and stuff like that. Went, oh man, this is pretty fun stuff. So they're at a point.
Yeah,
now,
I don't think I had heard his name until he was announced on Thor.
Now he's everywhere. He's like doing the press tours right now for Jojo Rabbit and stuff like that. And they're talking about Marvel flicks he's going to be doing. Side note, I really want to see the hell out of Jojo Rabbit. But that's
you just want to see him be Hitler.
I've heard good things.
Yeah, he did also announce that he would be reprising his role as Korg in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Of course.
Which you just gotta have. Yeah, not only that he would give us one of the greatest, funniest Marvel Cinematic movies ever, but let's be honest, he gave us the best He-Man movie we've ever gotten, and it wasn't even a He-Man movie. Because Thor Ragnarok is a fucking He-Man movie. It was perfectly a Masters of the Universe film. It just didn't happen to have any of the Masters of the Universe characters in it.
So, like you said,
wait
Anthony,
to see Love and Thunder.
He's in charge of everything now, but he effectively was in most people's eyes. Anyways, they didn't realize that there were elements he didn't control. Just like Sailor Pole had mentioned earlier, Feige only had the movies. Perlmutter was the one that was all in on Humans, I guess.
Yeah, because when it went from movie to being a TV show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those ones where we all thought it was basically a foregone conclusion. I'm lucky to see he got the title change, probably got a nice little bump in pay. Which, let's be honest, he has made Marvel and by therefore Disney a ton of money with the decisions and the stuff that the movies he's helped put together. So, dude deserved his paycheck. He's definitely earned his paycheck. Yeah, so I hope he got himself a nice little Christmas bonus. I'm excited to see what he does. Yeah, it'll be cool to see what he does help producing a Star Wars flick as well. Because him and Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah, let's see those two put their heads together and produce a Star Wars film. I'm all for it. Like that could be interesting as hell.
I just the only thing I would worry about is Kevin Feige's got a lot of irons in the fire. I hope he has some time to relax so that he doesn't have to worry about burning out.
True.
What's the matter there, Willie?
Irons in the fire?
Never heard that.
Is that a turn of phrase?
Yeah.
All right.
That's a colloquialism. You never heard that one?
No.
Yeah, someone with a lot of irons in the fire. It's like burning the candle at both ends.
I heard something about like having something on fire, but I never heard irons. I can't remember what the other one was. Oh well, bypass. It doesn't matter.
We can do that. We can bypass that.
Yep, that was my news of the week.
It should be interesting. I don't know. That's all I know. What do you think, Willie? Are you all about the Kevin Feige power consolidation?
That's not affecting me any way whatsoever.
Also fair. Also fair. So I guess that does wrap up our news of the week. We did tease it. We do occasionally do segments on this show, and we teased last week that this one might be coming back. We're going to do another round of Willie D. Nelson, aka Scooter Nelson's favorite segment on the show. So here we go.
Unprotected Advice with Willie D. Nelson.
I'm protected all the way in, baby.
That's right. It is another round of Unprotected Advice
Ugh.
with Willie D. Nelson. He's one of our... he's a great advice giver. He said he could give advice at one point in the show, and we took it and ran with it and said, Willie, you're going to have to give some advice to the folks out there because we trust your capability to give honest, well-thought-out advice to folks. And we oftentimes, we elicit advice from the audience. We didn't have any right now. And when that happens, we tend to reach out to the Reddit side of the house and go, hey, Reddit, what kind of stuff is out there that Willie can talk about, that Willie can give advice about, so that we all know, or rather, he can share his wisdom with the world. So, Willie, I got 3 things from Reddit. We may not have time for all of them, but are you ready for some unprotected advice? You give your advice, and then Bachman and I will try and help backfill anything we think might have been missed.
I'm always ready.
You're always ready?
We always got the backside.
Advice from Willie. Here we go. Here is the first one, courtesy of r/relationship advice over on Reddit. My 33-year-old female boyfriend, 29-year-old male, doesn't have a basic understanding of the female reproductive system. Advice, please. So here is what they're asking. It's only a paragraph long. We go with some shorter advice.
It's a great start already.
I figured you would like this because when I think Willie D. Nelson, I think he knows his basic anatomy really well. Really well. So, Willie, are you ready to hear what this user had to say?
What happens if I say no?
Well, we'll move on to the next one. I've got 2 other
No,
ones.
I do want to hear this. I do want to hear this. Go,
All
go,
right,
go,
so
go, go,
they
go, go.
state, I've been with this guy for over a year, and he's wonderful, but I just found out that he has a very limited understanding of the female reproductive system. It all started because I've had some odd gastro symptoms, and a few people had suggested I could be pregnant. It's quite unlikely anyway. I'm on contraception, and I said that I was due to have my period in a few days, and we shouldn't worry about it. He said, "Oh, so does menstruation, kill the baby?" It transpires that he doesn't seem to know why periods happen. He didn't realize that women don't have periods during pregnancy, and indeed one of the first indicators of pregnancy is a missed period. I'm very perplexed as he is an intelligent person with a degree and a good job. I don't see this as a red flag, but should I be worried? Willie, should she be worried?
No, not at all. That's not enough to be worried just because, who's the biology major?
Let's be honest. Men oftentimes don't understand basic anatomy.
To be fair, women also don't either. I've seen that too. Just, not because there's not for any reason other than the education system failed them. That's it.
I mean, this is stuff you probably should have learned in like sex ed in middle school. Is that that's when I took it. I don't know when they take it nowadays, or even if it's a mandatory thing you have to do. Because in all honesty, I'm not sure whether today's school system will require people to take a sex ed class.
Does it say how old he is and what school he got his degree from?
It just says that he is a 29-year-old male. So he is...
Jeez, do you want a social security number too?
He is about
he's a 29-year-old idiot.
Yeah. He's about 5 years younger than Willie and I.
Oh, as of tomorrow.
As of tomorrow, excuse me. So rounding error, okay?
How the hell do you get to almost 30 and don't realize how pregnancies affect a woman's menstruation period? Like, that's insane.
Well,
I mean,
easily, because it doesn't affect you. Like, it's not your body, so
but
it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Don't think about it.
Because if I could potentially knock someone up, you would think I would want to kind of understand how this happens.
That's not the part that Steve's getting confused with. Is the other part.
Yeah, I guess maybe he's not an idiot. Oh, she said he's intelligent. I don't know how intelligent he is if he doesn't know this shit, but oh god, yeah. Whatever school district he went to failed him, and so did his parents. Where's the birds and the bee talk?
I like Sailor Poland's take. Any guy who reaches that age and doesn't understand the basics needs to stay out of the game.
Yeah, he shouldn't be allowed to be having kids because there's some type of mental deficiency going on. Because dear Lord, that boy dumb. That boy just dumb.
I mean, I don't think this is a red flag to be like, you shouldn't be in a relationship with this person. It's more an opportunity to be like, what did you miss out on to not understand how this works? And then
if anything, she
try and
needs to
correct
finish having the birds and bees talk with him. He heard all about the birds. He heard nothing about the bees. He got no bee information at all.
I didn't know they were actually supposed to be that's how it's supposed to go?
No, I just made that up.
I didn't think there's supposed to be a gender tied to birds and bees. This doesn't make any sense.
I don't think there is. I was just picking that he learned one and didn't learn the other, and I randomly chose which one he learned.
Yeah, but there's no red flag. Just because he didn't know, that's not a problem. Oh, well. As long as he knows how his body works, who cares?
Well, because he's in a relationship with another human, and
Yeah.
so he should want to know what's going on.
But I'm saying it's not a problem that he doesn't know now.
Here's one thing to consider too: is as much as
To
we
learn,
can't always assume that these are all true that are on here too. This is a relatively newer one. It's only an hour old because I wanted to find something that was fresher. I tend
Fresh
to
off the
think it
Reddits.
might be true, but I'm not 100% sure. It would not surprise me that there's a man that thought like that though, because
Yeah.
I've heard stories
there,
about it all
there
the time.
are lots of gaps when it comes to, it seems like, a lot of men's knowledge in basic human anatomy. They're just like, oh, my dick goes here, that's all I know. And you're like, but no.
It's true. And you got, I mean, we are still a very sexually repressed country overall. And so the sex ed that we have in our schools is not great. And lots of people can get all the way through graduating high school and not have a basic understanding of even their own sexual production system.
All right,
So
you brought up something.
it does
here.
happen.
You brought up something here that I want to talk about a little bit. How is Japan, or how are we more and less? What was the word you used?
Sexually repressed?
Yeah. How are we more and less than Japan? America and Japan. That makes no sense. They still have to blur out everything.
Yeah, but also
but then you
culturally,
look at
Japan's
him,
all sorts of different because they had a nuclear bomb dropped on them, and that changed their whole culture and their way
No,
of thinking
I'm
about
saying we are more and less at the same time, and that makes sense. How does that make sense?
So some of the Japanese culture veered off in the hentai direction, and some of the Japanese culture veered off in the blur the porn direction. Yeah, it's they just got different things for different people, man. That's all it is.
And then there's the live action tentacles. Oh god.
But then also, there's a couple 100 million of us Americans, and so we cover a wide basis of, aiming in different directions with where we're going with sex ed and learning stuff. It's crazy.
So
My point is, it's just funny that we're both more and less at the same time. That's all.
Morris Minor had a good point in the chat room. There are people who believe the Earth is flat. Need I say more? There's always going to be ignorance. It just seems to me this sounds like a guy who doesn't know what he's talking about. It doesn't sound like he has. I don't know. Take the opportunity to educate.
It's only a red flag if he doesn't want to learn after he found out he's wrong.
Yeah, that's what I would think too.
Yeah. Because then he goes from being ignorant to being stupid.
Because look, we're all white dudes on this show that are in our 30s or higher. We're all stupid at different times in our lives, and we can fully admit it. This guy's about my age. I've been pretty stupid. Not that stupid, but
I mean, I'm not going to say I know exactly how the woman's anatomy works. I don't know. That could be, I mean, I don't have firsthand experience with it, so I'm obviously not going to fully know and understand. You know exactly what I mean, Bachman. Don't you laugh at me like that.
All right, let's move on.
You never had firsthand experience with women's anatomy?
With how things feel, like how cramps feel and all that. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Twisting my words.
All right, let's move on to the next topic here. Willie's got to get a smoke break in while he prepares for this next advice. So
I'll deal with this. I have to.
Here's our next one, also from r/relationship advice. Found out my, male 38, wife, female 27, has been flirting, kissing / sending nudes to an also married guy at work. He's also her line manager. I confronted her this weekend. I've recently found out.
Interesting.
Okay, I've recently found out that my wife has basically been having an affair with a guy she works with, who is also married. I confronted her this weekend, and she admitted everything. Well, I know we need to work through this, and I'm still unsure what the outcome is going to be. I want to tell this guy's wife, and she's absolutely reluctant to allow me to do so, and I'm caught in two minds of what to do. On one hand, I feel like it's totally unfair that I have to go through this with my own marriage, and this other guy basically gets away with it. On the other hand, I know that they have a kid and don't want to be the catalyst for something that potentially destroys their family. Overall, it's a fucking shit situation to be in because we've got two kids who are completely unaware of what's going on. Generally need advice on what to do about this guy's wife. Hopefully, you can help. So, Willie, the question is, should he go and tell the other man's wife what is going on?
Well, the morally right answer is yes. You should tell her because that's just all there is to it. I mean, it's not her fault that it's happening. It's not his fault that's happening. The person who's telling the story, it's their couples that are doing it. It's on them. It was their decision to do that. So tell the other guy's wife. That's what I'm saying.
I would also be of the same mind because how do you?
She deserves to know
that secret. The wife deserves to know what's going on, is what I would think also. And I tend to agree with Stiller Poll. And chances are the other guy's wife might already know that something fishy's going on. I mean, do you want to be the one who hides something like that from the other guy's wife, and then somehow you?
I mean, it sounds like they don't know each other anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm someone who says, hey, transparency and honesty, that's the way you've got to go. And I would be like, lady, we're getting divorced. And
he's still up in his mind with that, and I understand that.
That's a
I mean,
separate
everyone's
issue.
personal with that, but it's not my decision on that part. I cannot help with that. Well, he's not even asking about that part.
Right. I think that's probably smart because Reddit is going to be 99% people, she's a bitch, divorce her. And that's all it's going to consist of versus, actual advice. Now, I don't think that's terrible advice to be like, get out. Because if someone's going to cheat, I don't know. For me, that's always like the number one sin if I was in a relationship.
Wait,
if you cheat on me, I'm done.
Did he say that they fully cheated or just sent pictures and texted each other?
Been flirting, kissing, and sending nudes to an also married guy at work.
So it's not full on cheating. It's not saying it's any less, but I mean,
they did not do the deed as far as we can tell here.
Something.
So
but
there
it sounds
there
like
was
they're building up to it.
It was emotional cheating at the very least. You could.
Oh yeah, Joe. I trust me. I had some friends that went through that.
But they're kissing. That's physical cheating. They just didn't have sex.
I would be of mind to be like, hey.
But yeah, the other woman needs to know. And I would with something like that, and that can be worked through. I don't know. It depends upon how the wife feels. It's all on that.
It depends on what they want to do to fix it, because it's not just a simple matter of I forgive you, let's move on. I would imagine there has to be some kind of conversation and therapy basically to iron out, here's why this happened. Let's not have it happen again. And even then, I would imagine there's going to be trust issues. I don't know.
Yeah,
definitely.
But yeah, definitely tell the wife that is the morally right thing to do.
I tend to agree. I think we're all on the same page on that one. I have one last bit of unprotected advice, Willie.
Well, scoot it on by me.
Are you ready for this one?
I just said yes.
All right. This also comes from r/relationship advice. The title is Bizarre Excuse for Not Wearing Condoms.
I'm sure it's not going to be that bizarre.
I'm sure Willie already agrees with it, whatever the excuse is. On Unprotected Advice with Willie Nelson.
Go on.
All right. I am a 23-year-old female. He's a 21-year-old male. I met this guy that I really hit it off with, and we started hanging out a lot. One day, we initiate sexy time, but he doesn't have a condom. I told him I could drive us to the store and go get some, no big deal. Well, he hits me with this weird and oddly specific excuse after that. He proceeds to tell me, quote, that condoms are too tight and there's only a certain brand in South Carolina that fits me, end quote. For context, we live in Maryland. This just seems so weird to me, and it has to be BS. Also, he's an average-sized guy, so he's not big enough below to even make such a claim. I'm on birth control, but I'm not interested in having unprotected sex with anyone I'm not in a committed relationship with ever again. I'm older now and know better, but he seriously will not wear them. What's your advice? Would it be a mistake to sleep with him? Does this seem really off to any of you?
Yes, red flags are popping up all over the place because those things extend out very far. Have you not seen that little video of someone holding one outside of a car window as it's driving by, and it fills in like to be like, I don't know, like the Rock's thigh in girth, and then just 5 feet in length? Those things extend.
You can take an average size condom and put it over your head.
It's true.
Yeah, so this is just
This
these
guy's
are red
full of
flags.
shit.
I was in
Yes,
college.
it's red
I was in
flags.
college, and one of the guys in my floor took a condom and rolled it over his head down to his nose, and then blew it up just by using his nose.
Yeah.
Just big and have like this giant bubble head.
All right,
So
first of all, we've all done that.
I haven't done it, but
We've all done that. Don't lie to me, Chris.
I haven't. But Willie, if you want to do that on this show, wait, you'd actually have to have condoms.
Exactly.
But yeah, this is a big mistake. If this guy's gonna be like, I don't want to do this because these condoms feel weird, kick him to the curb.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Not worth the hassle.
You've got to be responsible when it comes to birth control, I would think, and it is both parties are responsible for decisions that get made on that kind of stuff. But yeah, don't sleep with him because something seems really shady here. I'm not sure what it is. Other than the fact he doesn't want to wear a condom. But yeah, don't do it. Don't sleep with him. It seems really off. It's kind of a bullshit excuse. I've never heard it used before. I've heard other people say something similar. Well, I don't like how they feel, but you really don't have a choice. And well, I guess you do. You can run risks.
Yeah, there's too many red flags. Him saying that's not an excuse. Only a certain brand in South Carolina. What? What brand is only sold in South Carolina?
What tiny company apparently only makes and sells condoms in one state?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, this guy's full of it, man.
That's a whole bunch of bullshit.
I mean, I'm gonna say don't just because he's not smart enough to come up with a better reason.
That works.
I do like some of the comments there in Reddit. Oh, my special penis can only have one type of condom. Makes it sound like there's something wrong with his penis. Like, what is it, spiraled or something? And someone says, maybe he's actually a duck.
It's an L-shaped bracket. His dick looks like an Allen wrench.
Now, the only thing I can think of that would actually make this okay, like, is saying if you're like allergic to latex.
But there's latex alternatives, and you can buy
And
those in
you
more
were
places.
just out, and the place is closed, and we're trying to do this tonight.
Yeah. But
That's
even
the
then,
only reasoning I can think of. But even then, you can still say, well, we're going to wait.
we'll wait until
I
tomorrow.
can still think that. Yeah. So, I mean,
And if you're a dude that has a latex allergy, I would assume that you've probably got some stockpiled. And I would assume that if you're a lady who has dealt with latex allergies before, you might have some of your own in the bedside table.
I gave a very specific reasoning here. I said if he was just out, like, oh, I forgot to re-up on my condoms, and the places are closed that sell them, so I can't go get them right now. So, I mean, that's the only reasoning I can think of where you can't use one, but yeah, that's the only one.
Yeah, but that still wouldn't
fair.
fall into there's only a certain type and sold in a certain state. That's
Now-
the dumbest fucking excuse I've ever heard.
I can't remember if you said it or not. Did she say she's on any birth control?
She did say she's on
Yeah.
birth control, but that she doesn't want to have unprotected sex when she's not in a committed relationship.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, red flags. Don't. It sounds like
do
you
it.
don't want to, so don't do it.
Do it.
I agree.
Yeah. So I hope she read some of those things that say these things can extend out. Oh my God, they extend out so big. So that's not even a reason. This was a regular condom, so I'm like, not a Magnum either.
Yeah, I thought it was bullshit, but I thought it was a funny advice thing to bring up. And with the
That
title,
is the biggest bullshit excuse I've ever heard for not wanting to wear a condom.
yeah, I mean, I mean, I spent a lot of time in the dorms when I was in college, and I heard some real bullshit excuses and stories of bullshit excuses. This one's pretty special. I never heard one quite like that.
Baby, my cock's too big. It won't fit around it. Let's just fuck anyway, because your vagina's going to fit it perfectly.
Liberty dudes in the chat room. Maybe he's a Jedi and using the Invisible Man's condom.
There you go. We don't need protection.
Morris Minor says she should just buy him a massive one, then laugh at the guy as it falls off.
There you go.
Yeah,
Say, here's a Magnum. Put this on. If you can get it to stay on, we'll use it.
But you know what I am hearing from this? Good for you for having a big dick. Good for you. That's all I got.
That's all I got too. But
Wait, hold on a second. What if he's shaped like a tuna can? Where maybe it's just the girth that's the problem. Maybe it's not the
Willie,
length.
remember, we
Did
just
she
talked
also say in the post that he's not over average size for a guy in that section?
Yeah, she said he's an average size, not big enough below to even make that claim.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, this dude's full of shit. Never mind. I'm going to retract everything. I just said. Not the stuff before.
Sailor Paul in the chat room. No. Condoms are made of latex. So is house paint. So just keep a can there by the bed, and when the time comes, dip that puppy in there. Quick, get the Flex Seal.
That only works. That only works if you're willing to wait for it to dry.
I do remember. I think Germans. This was like over 10 years ago. I was hearing about this. I haven't heard any updates on it. They were talking about a spray-on condom.
Yeah, the liquid condom.
Where it was like a spray. It was like, I don't know how that.
On it.
How do you make a reservoir tip?
That I don't know. That part doesn't make any sense.
The important thing here is she's on birth control of her own and is standing by her guns, it seems, to being like, yeah, this ain't going to happen unless you wear a condom. So good for you, Reddit user.
Indeed.
Because
definitely
stand by what you believe in there.
Yeah. I mean, it's not worth it.
But if you wait for it to dry, you're good for a couple years, Sailor Poland says.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Well, I know
sorry,
the wear
dude.
and tear is going to wear it down pretty quick. It depends on how often you use it.
I mean, I don't mean to cockblock somebody, but if you're just that fucking stupid, you deserve it.
True.
Well, he's like, I got better excuses why I don't want to wear them.
Exactly.
Well, everyone, thank you for joining us as we go down another path of unprotected advice with Willie Nelson. We hope it has been both informative and funny for you, and we will be bringing it back here in the future. So thank you, everyone, for this installment of
Unprotected Advice with Willie D. Nelson.
Unprotected all the way in, baby.
Yes, it is one of our favorite segments on this show. I think we could help change some lives there if they heard our advice, because I think we gave solid, serious advice. We had fun while giving it, but we gave serious advice. We weren't bullshitting. That's the important thing here, folks, is yes, we made a funny segment out of it, but the advice that was given came from a place of life experience that we have.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know the morally right answer to give. Whether or not I would do that myself, that's up in the air. But I know the morally right answer.
He does. That being said, it is time for us to start wrapping up this show. See what I did there? But before we shut things down, we do have a little segment called What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with you guys who are watching live or listening at a later date.
Hold on. We can't wrap up the show because it's too big. It won't fit. It feels uncomfortable.
We can only get the right kind of wrap up for this show in South Carolina. So we've got to go to South Carolina right now, live on the air, and then wrap up this show.
I mean, I can be there in a couple hours. You guys.
This is going to take me a while.
Take me
I can be there
hours.
in like 2 hours.
Yeah,
That's a long drive.
You got to drive through Virginia. Jesus.
Yeah.
That's the most boring state to drive through.
Not true.
Kansas.
Nebraska.
Kansas.
Well, I'm just saying because it takes so long.
Kansas, you can basically point your car in one direction, go to sleep, and 4 hours later wake up, and you'll be good to go because you just have to go straight the entire way, and there's nothing.
I'm all right with that. It's no like 6 hours of driving through one individual state.
Yeah, that's fair. That being said, though, we are going to wrap up the show. We do that with a segment called What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with you guys who are watching live or listening at a later date just what kind of geeky and or nerdy things we've been getting into so that maybe, just maybe, you'll want to do them yourselves. So, Anthony, why don't you kick us off? What have you been getting into, sir?
I've been getting into some AEW wrestling. Got a pass at the YouTube live TV thing, so I got caught up on the episodes that were on there, and I've watched all of the AEW Dark episodes. I am becoming a huge fan of Brittany Baker, the dentist, who is just like the coolest thing ever. That she's an actual. It's not It's not like the wrestling gimmick of someone pretending to be a dentist. She is a licensed certified dentist who also likes to beat up women in professional wrestling.
And is a practicing dentist. Right
yeah, and
now,
is a
too.
practicing dentist. She still works her day job and then goes and wrestles. She's awesome. And then who is it? Darby Allin, who I had never seen wrestle before. And I've watched some interviews now with him, and I've watched all the episodes or all the fights that they have available on YouTube right now. That kid is crazy. And I love the idea that it's an ex-skateboarder who used to just damage his body all the time doing stupid skateboard tricks. And so now he's not really worried about hurting himself pro wrestling because he's been hurt worse. And he knows how much, certain things can hurt. I watched a video of him. Like, this is the type of guy who used to like skateboard off of giant concrete structures around big cities, where sometimes when he would screw up, he'd fall 10, 15 feet onto pavement. Like, he was one of those crazy skateboarders. So, a 6-foot drop in a wrestling ring, none of that's really going to hurt him as bad as the shit he's already done to himself. And you can tell that when you watch him wrestle, because he takes fucking risks. He takes crazy, scary risks. But yeah, I've been enjoying the hell watching all of that. I got me an AEW t-shirt coming, so I'm helping. I can't afford to pay for some pay-per-views, but I'll put a little support, a little money in their pocket by getting me a t-shirt. So I had to get me. I think it's the one Chris also has. I needed the shirt that says AEW is Jericho, because it's just so fitting that he's their first champ.
Yeah, I want that. I have that one. I also kind of want the knockoff MJF scarf.
Nice.
They make
Doesn't it say like this is not a scarf on it or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so been watching a bunch of that, which I've really been enjoying. I've just went back looking through the Disney Plus list and realized that they have the old school Benji movies on there that made me cry as a kid. So I might have to watch those again. And they have the frickin' Adventures of the Gummy Bears. I love the Gummy Bears back in 1985. They were cartoon drug addicts. They took their gummy juice and they got superpowers. They were basically drug addicts. And it was one of my favorite shows as a kid. I'm so excited to watch it again and find out whether or not it holds up, because it might be awful. But yeah, between that and Gargoyles, like some of the old school cartoons that are going to be on Disney Plus, it's just going to be fun to rewatch some of that stuff that I saw when I was a kid. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, and then looking forward to Doctor Sleep at the start of next month. I'm waiting for my tickets to go on sale for that, and then Star Wars, and then other than that, it's been the holiday events have started in all of the games that I play, and so far, we're still waiting for Dead by Daylight, because they had their mid-chapter patch set to not come out till the 22nd, which kind of stinks, but it's a huge patch, and we're getting the Battle Pass and the Archive and the Rift and all of that stuff. But it's like we're halfway through October, man, and the scariest game on consoles that we play hasn't gone into Halloween mode yet, and it kind of makes me sad. Because
all right, I'm going to jump in on this.
I wish they would do Halloween. I wish they would do
pissed.
Halloween for an entire month with Dead by Daylight.
My
honestly.
birthday
This
is
is
10
super
days
dick mode.
away from my Halloween, and they don't start it till the day after my birthday. What the fuck? How long is it going to go on after Halloween?
That's
Bullshit.
I think it might end on the.
You are now entering Super.
It's going to end on the first? Are you fucking kidding me? It's going to last 9 goddamn
sure.
days?
Let me see. I didn't see an actual end date for it.
Well, the way behavior works, I wouldn't fucking doubt it.
I'm so glad Super Dick Mode's back. He didn't call it, but it's close enough.
Don't
True.
fucking care.
Let me see. Let's see if I can find actual dates for it, for the
I'm
Halloween
sorry
stuff.
to steamroll this bullshit that we're rolling past.
Well, the upside is I have 2 of my other games that I play have started their Halloween events.
Please don't tell me to watch Anthem.
Oh, they did Anthem. They did
Oh,
Season of Skulls.
Why are we still talking about Anthem?
Because I'm one of, according to last night's streaming numbers, one of 24 people still playing the game.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Last night, I checked the numbers on Twitch. There were roughly 10,000 people streaming Dead by Daylight. There were roughly 27,000 people streaming Apex Legends. There were 24. That's like barely double digits. There was 24 people streaming Anthem. No, they took the last event and reskinned it and added in Halloween stuff, and they changed like the crystal system to where you can buy suits. But then, of course, they took the seasonal suits, the scary looking ones, which the Interceptor was actually kind of cool. It's a giant spider, so it's like an Iron Man suit made into a spider, so it looks super creepy. but that is in the regular store to buy for money. It's not in the seasonal store to buy for crystals. So they even fucked that up because it's Anthem. And for every good idea they have, it's one step forward and 3 steps back. And they just keep shooting themselves in the foot. I did go in and I actually did play a new mission that was part of the Halloween event last night. And it was an actual cave where you went around and carried a torch and had to go in and light these altars. And then every time you lit the altar, like these ghost version of the spiders in the game attacked you. And so you had to fight your way through and then keep moving the torch from altar to altar to altar to light the whole cave. And it was kind of a cool event, a cool little, mission. And so I'm looking to see, I did that one last night. I'll probably check to see what the other ones are today because now they're finally on the map. The first day of the event, none of those things appeared on the map because, of course, Anthem fucks shit up. But yeah, they're trying. They're still trying. They're trying not to let it die. And, well, I spent so much goddamn money on the game. I'm going to play it whenever they do try something new because, well, I'm at least going to try it. But then the one that won Halloween so far is Apex Legends. Apex Legends put out a huge Halloween patch. They did an entire new game mode called Shadowfall, where you drop in solo into Kings Canyon, the original map, which you can't access right now in the main game because they introduced the new Meltdown map. So they brought back Kings Canyon. You drop in at night, so it plays very different because everything's super dark. And then it's 35 solos, and the first was as people are dying, they respawn as shadows. So you come back in the same character skin, but you can no longer pick up guns. You can't open doors. But what you can do is run super fast, climb anything, and your claw attacks do like super damage. So you come back as a sped up zombie version of the character you were playing, and then you try to kill the people that are remaining on the map until it gets down to 10. Those 10 then try to make it to a drop ship while the zombies keep respawning. And as a zombie, you just keep coming back until the match is over. And so you're trying to run super fast and attack and claw the legends that are left. So it's awesome because you get to play as the legends, and then if you die early, you play as the zombie horde, trying to stop the other guys that killed you. So it's a really cool game mode. And then they did, a huge update of everybody. Almost all but 2 characters got a Halloween skin. They did Halloween emotes. They did Halloween banner poses, skins for the guns, just a big old pack of them. And then they actually offered up the Lifeline heirloom available for what is technically the cheapest that they've offered an heirloom so far in the game, but it's still really pricey. And the good thing is if you just want to see it, but you don't want to pay for it yourself, I uploaded a YouTube video. I actually unlocked all the Halloween packs. So I got all the Halloween skins, all the Halloween guns, all the Halloween weapon charms. They did Nesper. There's a Nessie in the game, and they did a version of Nessie that's black and orange, but then he's wearing a white ghost costume and carrying a trick-or-treat bucket in his mouth as a little tiny weapon charm. And it's just ridiculously cute little stuff like that, along with awesome skins like they did Crypto as I think it's Deadly Bite, and they made him basically Dracula. So he's still wearing his awesome trench coat, but it's double collared. He's got a big red jewel in his chest. And then his face piece is made to make him look more vampiric. They changed his skin tone. Like, just really cool updates. And then the Gibraltar skin is the one. Some people think it's a little weird because he doesn't really look like Gibraltar. They really changed the character look, but he full on looks like Frankenstein. And the actual Frankenstein look is just awesome. And they gave him a new emote where he does the, like the monster walk. But yeah, so far Apex is winning the Halloween, the Halloween events because, well, Dead by Daylight hasn't even done theirs yet, and Anthem's is kind of failing, which not a shocker there. But yeah, Apex is fun as hell. And yeah, if you just want to see all of those skins for the guns and the characters, I have it on my Twitch channel and I have it on my YouTube. I went and opened every pack, and I main Lifeline, so I decided to get myself the heirloom. So I have the defibrillator sticks now, so I can run around and smack people with them, which is awesome because the heirlooms are goddamn expensive. And I spent way too much money on it, but I was thinking about it, and I uninstalled Overwatch. Apex is the game I've probably played the most and had the most fun on, and I'm actually excited when they came out with this new Shadowfall game mode. Every time they add a game mode to the game, I actually get excited to play it again, and they've kept me more interested than any other game I've been playing. So at this point, I'm actually not mad about supporting EA on this game. I'm just a little angry about the money I give them for Anthem. But
the developers of that game, Respawn, are really good.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about before, these are the same guys that did Titanfall 1 and 2, which I think are very fun. and underrated games based off the level
That-
of fun I had out of them.
That, and unlike BioWare, where they're kind of stuck in the mud on Anthem and trying to make changes, Respawn is really good about their changes. Their first battle pass on season 1 for Apex Legends sucked ass. Like, you could tell it was done really quickly. They had a couple of good ideas, and it really kind of failed. When they turned around and did season 2, they fixed basically every single complaint that people had about that season pass and made the new pass so much better. And then this third season, the pass is even better. They've continued to improve. So Respawn is doing really well on listening to the community, building a game that people want to play, and keeping it exciting as they move forward and make changes. So yeah, I mean, I love it. Every time they've made a change to the game, even if they seem like odd changes, because like there's been a lot of nerfs and buffs, and they take weapon add-ons and take them in and out of the game and make changes to the guns and stuff and add new weapons, add new characters, adding new weapons from Titanfall. We have a charge rifle now in Apex Legend, which I believe is another one of the Titanfall weapons. And yeah, they've done so many changes to the game, and every time they've done it, it's made the game better. I mean, and that's not something you can say about a lot of big ticket games. They're making money on this one because people are enjoying playing it, and I'm one of those people. I'm loving playing Apex. It's been a blast. But yeah, I'll probably be doing that for the rest of this Halloween season for sure, because the Halloween mode on it is just great. Yeah, that's what I've been getting into.
Also, Respawn's got a Star Wars game coming out in a month too, which I'm cautiously optimistic on too. I think, what is it, Fallen Order? Is that the name of it?
I think so. Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, it looks like it could be good. There's some early tests out on it right now where people have gotten to go play and talked about it, so that could be good. But I like a lot of what Respawn does. Like Morris Minor had put it out in the chat room, they also did a lot of the older Call of Duty games too, back before we got to the current state. I don't know. I don't play Call of Duty anymore, but I remember buying ones that the folks that were Respawn that then spun off on their own to be Respawn Entertainment had done, because I think they were with Infinity Ward or something like that beforehand. I'm not 100% sure.
That sounds right.
I'll go next, and we'll let Willie wrap things up for what he's been getting into. So I finally beat Untitled Goose Game's main story, and I'm now doing the backup story right now, which is they've given me extra objectives to go through the entire map to do. The first one I completed yesterday, which I'd already done by accident, another save, which was I made the gardener chase me outside his garden by stealing his radio and honking at him obnoxiously. When he bent down to pick up his radio, I grabbed his keys, ran in the garden, and pulled the gate shut behind me, so he got locked out of his garden. It was delightful. As he was there trying to get into the garden, I started flapping my wings and honking aggressively at him through the fence. I believe I shared a video of that to Twitter. It was absolutely delightful. It's a ton of fun. If you want him to get back in, you can just pick up the keys and walk up to the gate, and he'll steal them out of your hands. Out of your beak, rather. Untitled Goose Game, it is the best $15 I've spent on the Switch in recent memory, just off of the level of fun that I've had just going around and being an a-hole to everyone in that game. It's a pretty short story, but it's really fun, and I can't wait to see what these guys might put out next. I doubt it's going to be another Untitled Goose Game, or an Untitled Goose Game 2, rather, but it's really fun. It's really, really fun. If you've got a Switch, I would advise you giving it a try. And I think it's still on sale through the end of the month, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Then it goes up to $20. Again, I think for $20, I still would have gotten enough fun out of it. I'm going back and replaying it. Just if I have like a bad day, I come home and pull up the Goose Game and play for 20 minutes. And then I'm generally laughing because I've pissed off someone, or I've just made myself do something dumb in there and started laughing. At the very least, it's good stress relief. Other stuff I've been getting into. All Elite Wrestling, watched this week's episode. I was really bummed when I found out that Luchasaurus injured himself during the pre-show and wasn't wrestling as part of the Jurassic Express, and he's potentially out, depending on who you believe, 3 to 6 months with the torn hamstring, which is a bummer because Luchasaurus is super entertaining to me. I know there's a bunch of you guys are going, what the fuck is he talking about right now? It's okay. I'm not going to talk about a ton of wrestling today, but just know
Luchasaurus is awesome.
He's a bad man.
Yeah, I did. And I saw his tweet. Yeah, he also said, he thinks he's going to be back faster than the doctors believe. So he's got that dinosaur DNA. He's tough. He'll heal.
Just a boy and his dinosaur. That's Jurassic Express.
Damn right.
I also thought it was really cool. They released a video of post-match stuff, post-show stuff, where there was a guy dressed as a kid dressed as Orange Cassidy in the front row.
Yeah.
And Cody Rhodes was out there and a bunch of other stuff, and they were kind of geeking out over this kid dressed as Orange Cassidy. So they pick the kid up and bring him up to the center of the ring, and the kid never really breaks Orange Cassidy character. And for those that aren't familiar, Orange Cassidy's whole gimmick is like he's generally got his hands in his pockets, and like aviator frames on, and he's just like, things aren't really that cool. And if someone asks what he thinks about something, he'll kind of hold a hand up and do like a half thumbs up. And
yeah, he does like the world's laziest thumbs up. But it's also the hands in the pocket thing is important because he'll do lucha moves where he'll run through a ring and do a rope dive with his hands in his pockets. And it just looks dangerous as shit because there's no way for him to break his fall if the people he's hitting don't catch him correctly.
So they brought this kid into the ring, and Cody Rhodes is like, "Someone get me a referee. Bring a referee out here." And he goes, "I'm probably changing the main event for Full Gear, which is their next pay-per-view." But he goes, "Ring the bell," and he just lays down on the mat and tells the kid to cover him. And MJF, Maxwell Jacob Freeman, doesn't break character at all. He's like a 24-year-old jack kid, gets in this kid's face. He's like, "Don't you cover him. Don't you cover him. I'm telling you, don't do it." And the kid covers Cody Rhodes and pins him in the middle of the ring, pretending to be Orange Cassidy. And it made me smile because if you're that kid, you're never going to forget that moment. And if you're at that show, you're never going to forget that moment because it's cool. It's interacting with the fans, giving people memories they're not going to forget. And I just really enjoyed it. Do I think that record that's going to count in Cody's official record in AEW? I really doubt it. Why that's important, though, is... It's funny because the Young Bucks asked that. Does that count against your win-loss record? Because in AEW, they've made a point of saying your win-loss record is going to count towards what title matches and stuff you get. Yes, I know it's scripted, but yes, this also helps them build people up to be like, this guy's undefeated. He's a name you haven't really heard of. Let's give him a match against this other big player. So it's interesting, and I'm talking way too much about wrestling right now. I see Willie rolling his eyes at me. And I do love it, too, because when they introduce them and they're coming down the ring, when their name comes up on the name card, their record is off to the right of it. Yes. So you actually get to see wins and losses according to the storyline world that they live in ever since AEW has started, which I think is a really cool way of, it's a different way of doing pro wrestling. And I believe Cody had said sometime around when the Full Gear pay-per-view happens next month, I believe it is, they're going to actually put out the rankings based off of matches and stuff like that, because that's going to help drive a lot of things that happen. So it's an interesting twist on pro wrestling. Yes, we all know it's scripted, but it's still fun. There's a bunch of stuff there. I've talked about it for 3 weeks now. If you're a lapsed pro wrestling fan, give it a try. You're probably going to enjoy it. There's a little bit of something for everyone in that program. Other stuff I'm getting into was playing Jackbox Party games last night because we had some company over. Playing a little Quiplash and T-Shirt Hell and what's the Murder Mystery Mansion?
Whoa! You play what?
What's the T-shirt one? I called it T-Shirt Hell. That's not right.
Oh my god! It's TKO.
I'm sorry, Willie. Some of us don't play Jackbox as much as you do.
But you jack it enough.
Jack up San Diego.
Fucking title.
I'm sorry, Willie. I have offended you, and I feel badly for it. I feel very badly. Other stuff I'm getting into, I honestly don't know. It's all kind of blurring together. So that's what I'm getting into. Willie, wrap things up for us. What are you getting into, sir?
I've been getting into showing some friend some weird 90s movies that I have a wide selection of weird 90s movies.
Define weird.
Stay tuned.
Ooh, tease.
Nothing But Trouble.
You're saying Stay Tuned as in that's the name of the movie? Was
I thought he was teasing Stay Tuned. He was going to do it in a later
segment. No, that's the name of the movie. Stay Tuned with John Ritter.
John Ritter.
Yeah. Nothing But Trouble with Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, that is a weird movie. Nothing But Trouble is fantastic. And it's got Humpty in it and the Digital Underground.
Also watched The Guyver.
Okay, I love me some Guyver.
That weird.
Dead the elbows, bitch. Delve the elbows.
Do you remember the elephant guy in The Guyver?
Vaguely.
Because I didn't notice till I watched it this time that he has extremely long nipples, like that long of nipples, and they're flabby.
That is weird.
Very unsettling. Weird.
There are some strange designs in that movie. Like, there's some really weird stuff.
Yeah. You got the guy who did the Dynamite being in there. What show was that?
I don't know.
It was like the 70s. It was like a 70s show where it goes Dynamite. I think the actor's name is C.J. Walker. Am I right?
I believe that's the actor. I can't remember the name of his damn character.
Or the show.
Jimmy Walker. It was Jimmy Walker.
Yeah, but and then also this one technically isn't 90s, but it's still a weird movie. Club Dread. I'm sorry, Broken Lizards Club Dread.
There you go. Full title. Douglas Movies appreciates it.
I'm sure there's another weird 90s movie in there because I mean, there's a bunch of weird 90s movies. Like they got really kind of weird. But yeah, stay tuned. Watch that. Other than that, I finally got to the betterment of all my people I play games with online. I got a set of headphones or a headset that I can actually use with the PlayStation. So I bet I sound better. And then I also got Doom Patrol. Haven't watched any of it yet, but I do have it now. So I hear good things, and I love Brendan Fraser. So
Yeah.
hope it's good. And other than that, what else? I haven't really done a whole lot of anything. So, binga banga boom, let's end the show.
Well, you heard it here. Bing a bang a boom. Let's end the show. Friendly reminder: we do stream this show live every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, over on Geeks.live. Caveat: it might not be live next Sunday. We'll let you guys know. Stay tuned to Twitter. I have some scheduling conflicts, so we may record it live during the week or something like that, and potentially do like a premiere at 11 a.m. on Sunday. So it'll be a recorded but live. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. You just stay tuned to social media. We'll let you guys know what's happening with that. Before we shut this thing down, you guys have any final thoughts for us? Anything? Going once.
Go
Excuse
play
me,
some
why?
Shadowfall on Apex. Apex is free, and the Shadowfall mode is fantastic. You don't need to really know anything about the game. Once you get killed, you just come back as a zombie, and it's a blast to hunt down other people.
Nice. That being said,
Excuse me, why? Scoot out of here.
all right, Willie's going to scoot on out. We're going to shut this thing down. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you all later. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek Radio app, and over at our network home at GonnaGeek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast at GonnaGeek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at Incompetech.com.